Right. And we are recording, right? Let me make sure. Is everything go? Yep, we're good. Okay. Welcome, ladies. Weekend number.
Hello.
Hey, this is weekend number 3, right?
Yep,
Yes. Janie's shaking her head. I hear Dr. Harris. Joy, you still there?
I'm here.
There you go. Okay. All right, ladies. Welcome to the 3rd installment of the Superwoman Self-Care Seminar Series. I'm extra excited and very proud of y'all, by the way. I've been watching you on social media and seeing what you've been talking about and sharing and doing and taking out some time. So I'm very excited that you've hopefully been learning something from this and gaining more and more permission to take care of yourself and take out time for yourself. So I'm very excited about that. All right. So shout out to all of you all who are here watching us or here live. And then, of course, those that will be watching the recorded sessions. I apologize for last week. For some reason, something didn't happen where it didn't record correctly, but that's okay. Because I think we're on and we got the record button pressed today, and we'll definitely have that next week as well. So to get started, I definitely want to introduce, although we're going to start, really jumping in with some questions with her later on in the seminar. But Doc Bintu, raise your hand. Hey. She is a young lady that I have been obsessed with recently on social media and trying to be like, although I do not have her DJ skills. But she is a phenomenal doctor. And as you can see, she's in her scrubs right now. She's in the hospital doing her thing, serving her duties and doing what she needs to do to save lives in the hospital. So if she needs to come, jump out and go run a code, then, we won't be, we won't be offended. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Good. Did you just say?
No, oh no. You know what? I haven't been in the hospital for so long. I'm sorry. That was a jinx. I'm sorry. Don't do that. What kind of voodoo, knock on wood stuff, turn around in 3 circles do we need to do to reverse it? Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I haven't carried a pager for a while, but I won't say what you're not supposed to say about the pager. I won't say that. So no, I won't jinx you. Anyway, she is, as you can see, a full-time and very serious physician taking care of lives, but she's doing some phenomenal things outside. No, I won't say it. She's doing some phenomenal things outside of the office, outside of the hospital that are phenomenal. So we will get to her and let her tell us about her in a moment. But I want to see who did their homework. Say yes if you did your homework. Janie's saying yeah. Let's see if Joy.
Yep.
Angela. Yep. Angela said yes.
Yep.
Joy.
I didn't.
Oh no! Well, that's okay. You got a lot going on. You'll do it later. But Janie, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you did with your homework? Share with us, please.
Are you talking about the personality test?
Yes.
Yeah, so for my results, I have ENFJA, which is extroverted, intuitive, feeling, judging, and assertive. I have the diplomat role.
Diplomat. I'm pulling that up right now. Let me pull it up. So, Doc, by the way, you probably remember the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's similar. Yep.
Yes. So what we talked about last week was identifying what your personality type is. Know yourself better, know the way that you work, know the way that you socialize, and what group you fit in. Not necessarily to put you in a box, but to be more effective as a leader, as a mom, as a worker, as an entrepreneur, so that you know the way that you operate. And so I thought this was really interesting because it kind of gives you a label, which again is not to restrict you, but is to help you to figure out your different personality traits. And that can change over time. So what I answered back in residency is surely not what I will answer now, being a working wife and a mom. So we just wanted to kind of play around with this and see what we got. So Miss Janie said what? Diplomat?
Yeah, I have protagonist, ENFJ.
All right. So this is your little man here. You see this man? So charismatic and inspiring leaders able to mesmerize their listeners. Mesmerize us, Janie. What did that mean to you?
I don't know.
Tell us, mesmerize us. What did you learn?
What did I learn from reading it?
Yeah, did it give you any insight? Did it change the way you're thinking about what you're doing at all?
I guess it kind of gave me a little bit of encouragement to keep doing what I'm trying to do.
Yes.
Because hopefully, the listeners will be mesmerized by the health, advice that I'm trying to give them. So,
yes. Doc Bintu, Janie is one of my most favorite pre-med students
Okay.
and mentees. So we were trying to get her into school so she can do what you're doing one day. Yeah.
Amen.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Miss Janie, I think that fits you. You're definitely charismatic. You're definitely inspiring. Very sweet. So hopefully this continues to encourage you to kind of, step out of your shell a little bit and be more in the forefront. I like that.
Okay. Thank you.
I like that. All right, Dr. Angela Harris, what did you get?
ENFJA.
ENFJ. Okay. So a protagonist as well.
Yep.
All right. Does that
Which
fit
I'm
you?
surprised because from my Myers-Briggs, I was I think I'm an extrovert because it comes like just the nature of my job.
Mm-hmm.
But naturally, I'm introverted. But I think it just depends on how I answer. Because my Myers-Briggs, it was more of a INFJ. So, but this one is ENFJA.
Okay, so that was surprising, and you make it. I mean, I can see how maybe you could get a different one for your personal life versus your business life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. It depends on what mindset you're in,
Mm-hmm.
and what setting you're in, which is very interesting. Okay, so did this change anything? Is this going to help you do something differently, or you're like, no, I get it and I'm comfortable with that?
No, I get it and I'm comfortable. I think I need to maybe probably put myself out there a little bit more. I'm slow to warm. When I'm warm, I'm warm, but I'm slow to warm. So I think I need to just do that process a little quicker in regards to some of the things I'm trying to accomplish.
Excellent. All right, Miss Joy, even though you didn't get a chance to look at the questionnaire, you there?
I'm here. I didn't get a chance to do the personality test, but
That's
I will
okay.
because I'm interested.
Well, let's ask you this: do you feel that you are more of an extrovert or an introvert?
I'm both. It depends on the situation. I have my moments where I like to be social, and then I need to get into my shell and recharge.
Yeah,
and think my thoughts and analyze and regroup.
I hear that. Are you more? Let's see. Let me pull up what the letters stand for because I want to review those too. Myers-Briggs. So the first E or I is for extroverted or introverted. And like we said, clearly you have moments where you are either or, sometimes both. Let me pull this up real quick. Or if someone has it readily available and can tell me what the different letters stand for, then that might be a little bit quicker. Let me see. I had it all ready, but then my computer wanted to do something funny and erase it. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. No, don't make me buy anything. Okay, so that first E and I, pretty clear. The next is S and N, sensing or intuitive. Do you feel, which letter do you feel, Joy, describes you a little bit better? So the sensing side of our mind notices the sights, sounds, and smells of the present. The intuitive person looks more into forecasting the future, more imagination, more conceptual. What do you think, more S or N?
That's a good question. I'm about to take this test. I'm about to sit down and take
She's
it.
like, I'm just gonna do it because it's a lot. Yeah. So yeah, it asks you to think about the way that you perceive things and in what way do you operate? Do you operate more and stick with the present? I think it has to do with being a little bit more practical versus being a little bit more creative and imaginative. I think
I'm more imaginative.
Yeah, I think I'm more intuitive as well. The next group is T and F, so thinking versus feeling. And I definitely feel that I've always been a feeler. I'm probably more in the thinking range, the older that I get and the more, business oriented I try to be, but I'm definitely always going to be more of a strong F. What about you, Joy?
I'm definitely a filler.
Yep, definitely. And then last is J and P. So either judging with a plan or perceiving, kind of taking the outside world as it comes. Probably in between. I'm probably in between the two, but I think I lean more towards the perceiving. I try to go with the flow. I usually start out with a plan. Then as the day goes on, or as the plan goes on, I kind of I try to go with the flow and let it switch up and adjust as needed. And like I said, things change.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, kind of the same.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So I know, at least when we did this in residency and in med school, at least, what it did was try to figure out what discipline you fit in. Are you a better, subspecialist in a lab looking at slides all day long, or are you a better people person, family physician, internal medicine, primary care type person where you want to deal with people all the time? And so it definitely helped me to fit more in the primary care arena than kind of the subspecialty arena, where you may not have as much patient interaction. So I think it definitely helped me in that respect. But you may have to do this a couple of times every couple of years just to see where you fit. Okay, good. All right, let's go back to our screen with everybody. Let's stop my share. Stop share. All right. So let's talk about this young lady, Doc Bintu. All right, did anyone have any questions or concerns they wanted to add in? Nope. And I think someone else joined us. Who else is there?
My name is Chris.
Hi, Chris. This is your first time with us, isn't it?
Yes.
It's nice to meet you.
You too. I automatically muted myself because I thought that we would just, listen, or that we wouldn't be able to talk, but it's nice to actually talk to you.
That's good. That's good. So I'm glad that you got it. I know you were busy and you weren't able to join us the first 2 times, so I'm glad that you're here. We like to keep it open, casual, and comfortable, so hopefully you won't feel offended if I call you out or ask you to kind of, give your opinion and give your feel about things.
Oh, no, that's fine. I love that.
Yeah, just tell us, a sentence or two about you and why you're here.
Okay, well, my name is Christine. That's my full name.
Mm-hmm.
I am here because I want to grow as a woman, and I don't think that's something that I would say is a destination. I think it's, as we always say, part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself, like, I was listening to everyone about if you're more of an introvert, extrovert, all that type of stuff. I know I'm an introvert. Every time I go to church or I go to somewhere where someone prophesies over me, they're like, you need more boldness. I'm like, tell me something I don't know. Every single time. It doesn't even have to be church. It could be anywhere else. It's like, I just need you to be more bold and put yourself out there, So I eventually would like to be a heart surgeon, but right now, as you can probably see from my Instagram, I am designing clothes and working on that. Sometimes I feel like I don't really care for social media. I just want to be hidden and by myself. So this is really helpful for me where I am right now, because I haven't posted anything in a while, and I'm like, I don't know. I just need to I just need to push myself to not be so into myself, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do follow your heart, literally and figuratively. I mean, do what's comfortable. I mean, there are parts of life and career where you have to be in the forefront, and clearly, if you want to go into cardiac or thoracic surgery, I mean, you're gonna be put on the spot a lot. So that's literally life. But when you have your moments, I think one of the other young ladies, Joy, was just sharing that there are times where I have to be out and do everything as an extrovert, but then those are those times that I like to be quiet and not socialize and just sit at home and be with myself. So, and that's okay. It's okay.
Right.
All right. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce this phenomenal lady here. And I had your website up. I'm going to bring that up again. My new friend, my new bestie, Doc Bintu. Tell us your government name is what?
Bintu Ajala.
Huh?
Kalisha Bintu Ajala.
Kalisha Bintu Ajala. Wonderful. All right. I'm going to share the screen so y'all can see her beautiful website. So by day, her 9 to 5 is as a hospitalist, correct? I love these pictures. What? You don't like it?
You mean 7 to 8:30?
Your all-day job.
Woo!
You don't have banking hours?
What?
You don't have banking hours from 9 to 5? No? Okay.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, well.
Absolutely not.
Oh, well. So her day, in quotes, her day job is as a hospitalist, correct? You do that? That's your full-time job? Yes.
Full-time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the fun stuff, not to say that, medicine isn't fun, but the fun stuff, the stuff that I've been particularly drawn to is what I learned about this young lady when she was on the roster for the Art of Cool Music Festival, which is here in Durham, North Carolina, going into its 5th year next year. But this year, and I'm so sad I missed her the chance to get to see her face to face. But yeah. Say it again.
I said, yeah, that's right. We missed each other.
That's right. But she was on the roster, and I was like, who is this Doc Bintu person? DJ, what? So I quickly looked her up and been following her on social media ever since. But she has a nonprofit organization, a 501, I always get it wrong, 501c or 503 nonprofit. She's a nonprofit organization that brings together hip hop and the well-being and health and wellness, particularly of those in urban communities, and puts them together. And then she, of all things, is a DJ on the weekend. So like, as today, as she's sitting here in her scrubs in the hospital, she's already planning what set she's going to play tonight when she DJs. That's phenomenal. Phenomenal. So take it over. Tell us about you. What else do we need to know about your wonderful life?
I'm really not that interesting. Making me sound so interesting. So yeah, hi everybody. I am Kalisha Bintu Ajala, also known as Doc Bintu, DJ Doc Bintu. I'm a hospitalist, internal medicine. That is my field, my area of training. Med school 4 years, and then 3 years internal medicine residency. And funny enough, Dr. Sweener, I actually started off as family medicine my first year.
Did you really?
I did. And I fell in love with Grady Memorial Hospital, which is a county hospital, serves injured patients. And I loved inpatient medicine because the patients were more critical. Mm-hmm. So I'm internal medicine, but I practice hospital medicine. And basically what that means is that any patient who's admitted to the hospital that needs more of a medicine focus versus surgical or OB or psych, those are the patients that I take care of. And that's my full-time gig. Mm-hmm. It's a love of mine because I get to interact with people at their most vulnerable states. And we still get to do a lot of education to try to prevent them from having to come back in. And then somehow after residency, which was like 4 years ago, during residency, I came up with the idea of turning my goal for a clinic because I wanted to be family medicine. I went and got my MBA, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this clinic like my mentor, Dr. Howard at University of Maryland. So I was like, I'm going to have a clinic, and it's going to serve the community. It'll be in the hood, and we'll teach young girls about safe sex and preventing pregnancy. We'll deal with help the elderly. We'll help adults. We'll barter services. All these things. And then when I realized that I'm internal medicine, I want to be a hospitalist. Where is this clinic going to come from? Because I have a clinic. I'm not an outpatient doc right. by heart. So I decided to create a health fair. And then somehow it hit me that a health fair wouldn't be enough, that it needed to be a nonprofit. And so after I finished residency, I passed my boards. I had to pass my boards, Lord Jesus.
Praise the Lord.
Listen. So yes, listen, look, you know how serious that is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I passed my and then I was able to kickstart my organization, and that was December 8th, 2013 is when we went live. We obviously had been doing work before that to kind of get everything kicked off, but there's that. And then I've always loved hip hop. I use a lot of different people in pop culture and hip hop, actually since I was a young child, to remember medical conditions. And so my one was acromegaly with Andre the Giant. Like I diagnosed my head when I was like about 7. And so like on from there, I just was like, okay, like if I can take someone that I know and like that's the condition that they have, it'll kind of like stick with me. So I love studying the hip hop. I absolutely adore, love, and obsessed with hip hop, jazz, rock, but definitely hip hop. And so decided that my love for hip hop, you know what, hip hop music is my medicine. So DJ actually became therapy for me.
Yep.
So after like a long shift, a 14, 16-hour shift at the hospital, one of my friends was like, you should like come and hang out. And they were like, you should try out these turntables. And the next thing you know, it just turned into a thing. And so any profits that I make from DJing, I always give the heartbeats and hip hop, just kind of worked out.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, music. I use the hashtag music is life often. Yeah. It is definitely one of my therapies. Yes, that's phenomenal. So how in the world, how does one start a nonprofit? I've always been impressed and, you know, just mind boggled by women and by folks in general that just know how that happens, like grant writing and getting funding. And how do you even do that? How does one start a nonprofit organization?
So I didn't know. When I was in residency, I just picked up a book, How to Start a Nonprofit. So for whatever reason, in like, you know, in medicine, there are not a lot of us who have nonprofits because we don't have time. So I didn't have any mentors. I really didn't have any advice. I just picked up a book like I usually do, and kind of went through what it said I needed to do. So like, you know, incorporation versus LLC. So I decided to make it incorporated within the state of Georgia. And when you have a business, nonprofit or otherwise, where you are seeking incorporation, you have to have board members, you have to have bylaws, you know, you have to have a mission statement, all those things. So I wanted to start working on those things, start writing those things. And then my accountant, who I started working with in residency, I approached her and I was like, okay, I know you're not a lawyer, but what do you know about incorporation? Can you possibly help me, or at least point me in the direction? And her being a Black female business owner, really interested in the community, she does a lot of giving back. She, you know, helped me out with my incorporation. So we started that, and that was in November. And then, oh Lord, oh my goodness, creating a website. So the website you're seeing right now, I created by myself. I had initially hired somebody, and he used WordPress, and WordPress is like the worst for me. It's a lot of code that I just can't. And so this is like 2013. So Wix wasn't, if it was live, it wasn't popular, which is what I use. And there's like other do-it-yourself types of websites where you can build your own site.
WIX,
that
right?
wasn't
WIX Wix.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, WIX. So I had a person do it. And so what I found was when I decided to do the nonprofit, I knew it was going to cost money to get it off the ground. I was working as an attending. And so I knew that the money that I was giving towards the nonprofit, for instance, if I was in fellowship, I would make less money.
Right.
So I looked at it as, well, if some of this money goes towards the nonprofit, it'll be better than fellowship, but it'll be like fellowship. You know, I'm going to have to learn how to run a nonprofit, just like I would have to learn how to be a cardiologist or gastroenterologist. I'm going to learn. I'm going to take the time. I'm going to take the years it takes to run a good nonprofit. So did that. We went live, and then I had to learn. I had to ask around. The question was, do you wait until you get your 501c3 status to start doing events?
Mm-hmm.
Fundraise. What can you do with the money? What is legal? What isn't? And what I found was through my accountant was that in order to apply for the 501c3, a lot of times they like to see what you've been doing already.
Mm-hmm.
So that then made me feel like I had the permission to like kickstart like some events. So approached a couple of people in the community, a lot in the music community here in Atlanta, and started to try to pitch Heartbeats and Hip Hop. And that's the name of the organization. The Heartbeats is the medicine, the hip hop is hip hop.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people didn't get the name right, Lord Jesus. Heartbeats, heart, hip. What are you talking about? It was
Right.
just no. They couldn't conceptualize how the two would go together until a lot of people in hip hop in our age group started dying. So that spring, I applied for my 501c3, and we got it within like 8 months. But that was because I paid $3,500, to get it kicked off, and then obviously to my accountant, which like another $600 or so, because it costs a lot to get it done, and it holds you over for about 3 years. You have to file taxes every year. And each year you file is like $350. So if for nothing, I felt like I needed to raise money just to pay my accountant, just so I could just have 501c3 status. And then so as far as grant writing, which I'm pretty decent in, I try to focus a little bit on that when I was in B school. But I don't really go for grants. I don't offer. I don't go for them. So when I was younger, when I thought about having my mother told me a long time ago that a lot of people who make decent amounts of money, they a lot of times will start nonprofits so that they can write it off, so that although they still have to pay heavy taxes, it can go to an area that they actually support.
Right.
So I started thinking about that and thinking about people in the Atlanta community, and I was like, wait, I know a lot of doctors. I know a lot of people in the music industry here. Wait a minute, like, if I have the 501c3 status, if they donate to Heartbeats and Hip Hop and they know exactly where the money is going, because I don't need a salary. I don't need a salary. My board doesn't need a salary. Like, we don't necessarily need any money from the organization to form and function, right? So when they write us a check, they know that it's going to Grady, it's going to Atlanta Food Community Bank, that it's going to elementary school, and then they can write it off. They donate, give it away, they write it off. And so we give people, we basically make giving back really dope, right?
That's a motto. That's a tagline. I like that.
We just make it dope. So
I like it.
If we throw a party, if we have an art show, if we do hip hop karaoke at a pizza spot, the pizza place, proceeds from what they make, they donate to Atlanta Food Community Bank, and then everybody feels good. We make
everybody wins.
Feel good to. Yeah.
That is phenomenal. That is wonderful. I like that, especially so again, I'm impressed that you even had this idea to start a nonprofit and then started the research yourself. Number two, the whole grant writing thing is another foreign world, but yes, the MBA, so getting your business degree definitely helps in that respect. And then you went out and found people who were smart and knew stuff that you didn't know, the accountant, and learn about all the legal ramifications and taxes. Getting your team together and getting your board together is phenomenal. So taking those steps anytime you want to start a business, start a nonprofit, start a company, doing the research and then getting some people that are smarter than you around you to help you are definitely helpful things. Good.
If I can add, my board members, one is a business owner. Like, not if there's one doctor on my board is my point. I don't have to say what everyone does. A lot of people are in business. One's a naturopathic physician. Another one is in law. One is it's just I just wanted to make sure it was well-rounded, so that they could be a true advisory board. We didn't need a bunch of doctors who didn't know much about a nonprofit or how to run a business.
Right. Because unless you're getting your MBA, we don't learn that stuff in med school.
You don't.
You don't learn how to start a business. I think it's changing now. I think a lot more of the curriculum is becoming more business focused because, we get out here, try to launch practices and fail. So, or have to spend lots of money to hire people to do it for us, which is good. You can do that. But yeah, I wish I would have learned a little bit more in school versus having to learn it, in real life. But, it is what it is. Yes. So, favorite hip hop lyric of all time? That's hard.
Not necessarily. One jumps already to my mind.
Really?
Yeah, of course. There's a song called Act Two, Love of My Life, or Act Two, yeah, Love of My Life by The Roots.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, the anticipation arose as time froze. I dove off the stage, watched my eyes close, and dove into the deep cosmos. The impact pushed back the first 5 rows. Of all the live shows, I remember I was a little snot nose, rocking Cassell, goggles, and eyes I closed, learning the ropes, the ghetto survival, peeping out the situation I had to slide through. Had to watch my front, my side, plus my back view. When it came to getting mine, I ain't trying to argue. Sometimes I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for you. Hip hop, you're the love of my life, and that's true. When I was handling you,
Keep going.
it was you from the door for you, speaking through you, getting paper on tour for you. From the start, thought was down by law for you. Used to hit up every corner store wall for you. We ripped and kept it hardcore for you. I remember late night steady rocking the mic. Hip hop, you the love of my life. And so for me, when I heard that song, I was thinking about medicine. It was just like medicine, say my absolute love and adoration for medicine and my obsession with hip hop to get me through med school, high school, residency. I feel like it's the love of my life. I feel like it saved my life.
Phenomenal. Ladies, do you have any questions for this beast of a woman? I'm going to unmute you, by the way. Any questions? If not, I'm going to keep asking them. Nope. All right. I'm going to keep asking them. Just make sure my phone calls don't have a delay. Nope. Okay. So when did you officially first fall in love with hip hop? That's a classic question. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
It was the 80s. I was probably about 4. My mother was playing Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, The Message.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, back in the day, it had like these tall stereos. You could put the tape deck, but there's like a record player on top.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like standing, like kind of like nodding her head. And that's like her favorite thing to do. My mother absolutely loves music. And my mother introduced a lot of hip hop to me because she was like in her early mid 20s in the 80s. And so that song, the bass, the beat, you're a little kids, like one of the first things you hear, so you kind of like you do a little bow. Yeah, so I think probably the emotional connection is seeing my mother jam to it. And then, because you're a little kid, you're in love with your mom. So seeing my mother jam to it, and then it being one of the first, because I didn't grow up with like someone playing the Temptations or like, 60s or 70s soul.
Yeah.
No Anita Baker. I mean, later on, she did play Sade, but my mother played a lot of rock and hip hop. And so that is what soothes me to this day.
Yes. Yes. So you are doing all of these things, and clearly, music is part of your medicine. It's part of your own personal therapy. But what other things, self-care wise, do you make time for?
Quiet time to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times, the term self-care has become more popular more recently. I didn't honestly know. I just did a lecture recently, and we had to talk about what it meant to be under stress. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to define stress, which is pretty sad. But when you're a physician, when you are very driven about the lifestyle you want, and I've been a very driven person. I've been called an overachiever, one of those types of people, always busy, always on the go. So what I had to learn was self-care doesn't mean to schedule another thing to do.
Mm.
So I don't have to schedule a nail appointment. I don't have to schedule a massage. Self-care could just be to just sit down for me.
Yes. Yes. Janie is
Not
praising the Lord. Oh, you have a question, or you praising the Lord, Janie? Okay. Okay. I'll come back in a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just keep it short. But yeah, so for me, it was to the opposite, to not go and do something for myself to be, because I think I had more of an issue of thinking all the time, and not always being present, but always planning the next move, the next thing. So I had to learn to sit and be. And I think, some people call it meditation or whatever you want to call it, but sometimes you just have to learn to sit down.
Yep.
And that's, yeah, amongst other things, it's one of the key things I think that's always been very healthy for me.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, the whole Superwoman thing that I've been talking about really started out as go sit your ass down somewhere. It started out as, but I thought I had to call it something a little bit. It had to be more PC.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, but no, that's what it, if you go way back to I hear you. If I go way back to my Facebook, when I first started writing the books, it started out as a sit your ass down somewhere movement. All right. Hold on. Janie had her hand up. Janie had her hand up, so I'm going to let her go. Oh, you have to go?
And I got a question too.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
No, I have a question too.
Okay. I'm going to let Janie go first. Go ahead, Miss Janie.
Dr. Bintu, I want to know, how do you manage your time with everything that you have on your plate?
It's a good question. Funny enough, like I'm at work right now. During my lunchtime, I'm sitting here with you all, and then tonight I'll be DJing, and I'll be back to work tomorrow. Let me see. So as a hospitalist, I work 7 on, 7 off generally. Sometimes it's 9 on, 6 off, or whatever. And so I knew that I could never have the type of career where I work 30 days a month, or like a lot of doctors do. They're always on call, always having to be in the hospital. Like I knew that didn't suit. I soon learned that did not suit my personality, right? Because I think that, call it, I don't know. I think I'm a creative who became a doctor. I don't think it's the other way around. And so I have to have balance. And so part of me needs to feel creatively free in order for me to flourish in my job as a physician. So saying all that to say, when I work 7 on, 7 off, sometimes during the weeks that I work, I do have activities that I have to take part in, but I try to do my best to have my hospital work weeks be focused as a hospitalist. And then on my weeks off, I'm more nonprofit, obviously. So I might be planning some things during my hospitalist week, but the actual action, the lectures at college, the pop-up street clinics, the DJing, everything else, or whatever that I have to do, I try to make sure that's typically on my weeks off. And even on my weeks off, I try to leave. I've learned my body's, I guess my body just has a way of being, meaning I guess my body has its own schedule, it has its own cycle. So after I work 7 days straight, at 12 to 14 hours, mostly on my feet, when I look down at my phone, I've walked maybe 3 to 4 miles. It's because this hospital's huge, right? So I'm always running. Hospitals don't really sit. So I'm really tired. So after 7 days, I need 2 days to not talk to one person. My poor boyfriend, I'm like, you better learn sign language because I've been talking all week. And so, so if I work, I start on Saturday. I usually am off on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I just need to be quiet. I just need to chill, some mental health, maybe clean, those things. And then Monday, I realize that there's a planet and I'm actually on it. Like, oh my oh, okay, great. What do I have to do? And so I realized that during my work week, I probably need to write out my list of what I have to do, because my first couple of days of being off, I'm tired. Like my brain is fried, especially just from being a physician. And then the beginning, like Tuesday or so, going into that week, I already know I'm scheduled to do this. I have to be here, blah, blah, blah. But I make sure that within that day, like if I have to go do a lecture, I don't do a lecture, go DJ, and then go to some political meeting. Like I'm not doing, no. Like I'm gonna take 2 hours and do something within the community, take 2 hours and do, some things for Heartbeats and Hip Hop. And then I'm gonna go and, what she said, sit my ass down. So the best way, I guess, and that's kind of long-winded, but basically when I'm off, I try to make sure that I put on my other hat. So my nonprofit, DJ, lecturer, mentor hat. But on the 2 weeks that I'm off, I don't schedule them to the hilt. And I make sure that I take time off for myself. And I also take time to travel. Travel is very important to me. So that's another way to kind of, I guess, except for the flying, right? But,
you got to get there.
Hey, can we just find a way to beam ourselves there? But yeah.
Twinkle your nose, like Genie. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, right? So yeah, that's basically the way that I try to do it. On days like this, I just pray. I pray that nothing's called overhead, which you said.
I'm sorry.
So I pray today, like I rounded super early, right? I finished my notes pretty early, saw my patients, worked on my discharges, answered my pages, and I logged on very early, and I said, Lord Jesus, let us not be interrupted. And that was, and then after this, I'm gonna go practice my set in my head because I can't practice here while I'm waiting to get off work.
You should bring your turntables to the hospital. I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
The only problem is, right, with bringing my controller, right, because I do, like, so I thought about that. I thought about that because I'm in a competition. Who's gonna stop me, right? Who's gonna check me? Who gonna check me, boo? Problem is with the controller and the computer, like I still need a speaker, and my speakers are. So the key thing I can do is just kind of sit on my computer and kind of go through my set in my head and kind of basically, okay, switch here, click here, press here, scratch here, like, so I do that actually in between patients. So when I'm taking the stairs from like 7 to 11, I'm like, okay, I'm going from Dilla to far side to Nas. Okay, Nas, you're for the middle of I shot you, then who shot you? And then so like I do that and then I go see my
I'm so excited.
That's the way of practice in my head. But
I love it.
I need that creative side to I could not, I need it. Like there's no way I could just be a physician.
Lovely. Music is life. Who had my other question?
Angela.
Yes.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Doc Bintu, this is Angela. So I got a question for you. It's a two-part question. So the first question is, as everyone on this phone has their like primary job or career path, and then we all have these passions, have you ever been challenged in regards to your colleagues, in regards to compromising your profession? So being like, how are you a doctor and why you're a DJ and why you're like, do people respect both crafts? So that's my first question, if you want to answer that first, and then I have another one.
Sure. So funny enough, I started DJing in 2013. I didn't want anyone to know that I was DJing because I just really picked it up. And then my nonprofit, I didn't really want anyone to know that as well.
Why?
So
that's my question. Keep going.
People who did find out, they were disappointed because, let me see, I was offered a cardiology fellowship, GI. The ER medical director asked me to think about adding 2 more years on after I finished internal medicine. So this Dr. Shad Emory, she asked me to do an ER residency so I could be double board certified because she thought that it would be beneficial and I would be good at it. And pulmonary critical care. And so I had a lot of people who were disappointed in me because they saw so much from my life. And I was like, that's great. And I appreciate all the things that you're saying. But if this is not what I want to do.
Yeah. Let me interrupt you. Note, she said they saw that for my life. Yeah. That's that. Not what I saw, but they saw. And
I didn't have all the answers, but I knew that those things, I just had to go where my heart and my spirit led me. And my spirit didn't give me all the answers, but it said, that's not it. It's like, okay. So when I figured out, I want to do Heartbeats in Hip Hop as a nonprofit, my heart was, I felt very strongly about it. And so the few that I told, because I didn't tell a whole lot of people, the few that I told said that the question was, you actually want to go work for free? And so that was like a point of, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, guys. I got a page.
Oh, no.
That was a point of contention and disappointment. I need to answer this page.
Okay, go answer the page. If you're able to come back, that's fine. If not, we understand. She has to go save lives, y'all. She has to save lives. But yeah, so a key to take away from that is go with your heart. everybody has, the people around you, your loved ones have all sorts of plans for you. Who'd thunk it that you could have a plan for somebody else's life? And I get it. I have kids now, and I clearly want the best for them and want the best education and career goals for that. But I have to practice what I preach and understand that they have to do what also makes them happy ultimately. So that sounds like.
But Doc Swiner.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I said, I'll ask you the same question as being a family doc and being in medicine for a long time, but having all these passions and hustles and like, have you ever got challenged by, your colleagues in regards to like, why are you not full time in medicine? And because I think sometimes that can happen, or people just question and give you the raised eyebrow, like, why are you doing all these extra things when you obviously like, and then people I think also put MDs, like, you're a doctor, you don't have to do anything else. So have you ever been challenged or, questioned?
Yep. You know who challenges me the most? My patients.
Interesting.
All the time. Yes. All the time they ask me, well, I know you're taking some Fridays off and I know you're doing this and doing that. Why are you doing that extra stuff? You don't want to just, continue seeing patients for the rest of your career? And I've just learned to laugh at them. I'm like, girl, no. What do you mean? No, I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my life. I need those times off. I need for you to not feel like you can catch me on Facebook and ask me for that prescription refill. Like, I need to be able to shut down. Yeah. So yeah, that's very interesting that somebody would, a patient would ask me, I want to, I want to schedule my IUD for next week. And I'd be like, that might be hard because I'm going to be off Monday and Friday. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm not working. I'm not here for you 24/7. I'm sorry. Does that make you feel some type of way? So I've had to advocate and stand up for myself for my time off and let them know that that's important to me. And yes, in those times that I'm off, I may be doing a talk, or I may be doing a consultation, for publishing, and I may be doing, other things. Hi, you're back. I may be
nitro drip. Seriously.
But you got a protocol for that. You can just tell the nurse, go ahead and start.
Okay, so I'm not to vent. This is not to vent. All I'm saying, all my Baltimore is about to come out because I had to remember. But all I'm saying is, and you say, he's on a nitro drip. I gave him all his PO meds. I get that. So if that is the case, now I didn't give age. This is not a HIPAA violation, guys. All I said was, so you call and you say that you want to slash, and I say you cannot slash because he's on a nitro drip. So if his blood pressure shoots back up, he could stroke. So I said, the best I could do for you is if he's on 80 mics, you could take it down to 70. I can't tell you past that. I said, there's a protocol. You can follow the protocol.
That's what I'm saying.
He's like, oh, hold up. It's just been a while. I was like, the fact that it's been a while has nothing to do with the fact that we should be following protocol.
Like, bitch, I'm going to need you to read first before you page me.
What? So she was like, oh, it's 5 mics. I said, basically, we're just discussing the protocol right now. She's like, well, I guess we are. I said, okay, so let's follow that.
We need time off, guys. See? So, Doc, if you want to jump back in, or Dr. Angela, if you want to follow up with your question while we got her again, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you want to continue. Go ahead, Dr. Bintu.
I only told a few people, and they were like mentors or people who really wanted me to go into certain fields. And so their concern was that I was doing something for free. 1, 2, I had no experience running a nonprofit, so it just sounded like a pipe dream. So there was that. And so I just had a fear that it's sacred, it's my baby, so I didn't want to share it anyway. And then I had a fear that it would not be respected. So there was that part. And then as time went on, I found I had more support, and I guess admiration from certain people for even trying to do it. So that part, I guess, was cool, but I don't do things for a pat on the back. So I was like, okay, whether you like it or not, I'm still doing it. But for the most part, I'm very protective of heartbeats in hip hop. So typically my colleagues don't know about it. But for instance, if my boss knows and my boss gets like super proud, then it's like, oh, y'all is doing blah, blah. So I'm at Emory right now, Emory University School of Medicine, Hospital Medicine program at Grady. So, and I've always loved Grady. My nonprofit is giving back to Grady Memorial. So I felt more comfortable here, kind of letting some people know. And then Emory has been very supportive, and some of the doctors actually offered to come out and help outside of the people I trained at Morehouse with who come and volunteer. And then from the DJ perspective, I definitely didn't want anybody to know, because it was just like, my fear was, what if something went wrong at work? And then what if someone heard that I DJ'd and they thought that was connected to me not being focused, you know? And so that was like a fear of mine when I first started. But funny enough, the CMO at my first job absolutely adored me and actually hired me to do the holiday party. When I realized how much I could make.
That's what's up. Yeah.
3-4 hours, and how much money could go to Heartbeats and Hip Hop. I was like, Heartbeats and Hip Hop can make what?
Thank you.
For how long? So, you know, as far as that hospital is concerned, people knew, obviously all the doctors and surgeons, they knew I DJ'd. My other jobs, and even with this one, a lot of times I still try to keep it separate, but people have a habit of Googling you now.
Well, I was going to say, if they follow you on social media, it's very clear.
People don't know my social media handle.
Oh.
They know exactly about Heartbeats and Hip Hop, and they don't know that my IG is Doc Bintu, because they don't even know my middle name. How are you going to find me?
True.
And all you see here is Kali Shajala. Who's Bintu? So a lot of my colleagues can't necessarily find me per se, and on Facebook it's kind of difficult to find me as well. So yeah, so typically they don't know, but when they do, they're like, oh my gosh, we want to come out. And I'm like, come out for what? Why do you need to hear me DJ? Because I'm a hardcore hip hop DJ. So some of the words are not clean in my music. So there's that worry, right? But I mean, overall, I don't necessarily have a worry about what I do outside, compromising what I do inside, because I do a lot of separation usually during the weeks that I'm on. 1, 2, I'm a workaholic. I don't leave until the work is done. I'll outwork anybody around me. So that's usually not a concern, meaning that I try not to be distracted, right? And then at the end of the day, I think because self-care is becoming a thing, and having a life outside of medicine is becoming a thing, more people are encouraging.
Yes. Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Any last question? One last question, because we're getting to the 1 o'clock time.
I just wanted to know, in the current state of hip hop, what would be your favorite song or rapper, given that you come from the 80s and 90s, and what's put out today?
Sure.
Rap today sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah,
I agree.
Whatever, guys. Being in my 30s in hip hop right now, I do find that there are still a good amount of people who are very good for hip hop.
Yes.
I would say, and this is a North Kakalaki girl, Rhapsody. I've been bigging up. If someone were to go back to panels of maybe the past 2-3 years, the first person I'll say, like, especially, you know, in the group of like Kendrick and is Rhapsody. I've been absolutely adore her. So there's Rhapsody. Talib still been putting out albums. Kendrick Lamar, obviously J. Cole.
Yes. Another North Cac. Yes.
Just too many North Carolina people. Let's stop. Like, seriously. Putting out good music. Jay-Z has put out a phenomenal album. So much so, his album has encouraged me to get up enough nerve to do a men's health panel, which I'm doing, and it's called The Key, a discussion about Black men's lives and their health. And so, anyway, we do a lot of panel discussions in Heartbeats and Hip Hop too. Anyway, so yeah, I would say Rhapsody, definitely Kendrick. Rhapsody, she's an MC. It's not about just being a woman. And to further comment on that, as far as the history of hip hop, women in hip hop have been the vanguard of intersectional feminism for
Yeah.
quite, right? And so Queen and Light, and so she comes from the vein of rappers, Lauren, who are MCs at the end of the day. They're, you know, they're not necessarily trying to show themselves. Being sexy is not a bad thing, but it's about lyrics, and it's about the purity of the lyrics or whatever. So then there's her. Kendrick Lamar, I absolutely love, because he basically took his vulnerability and his mental health issues and put it all in an album.
Yes.
Butterfly, and Damn was like his redemption. And so I think it's very important for MCs to be more transparent and not be the modern day version of a big black buck. Dramatic history from slavery. So it's very important to see that. Obviously, J. Cole does the same, and then Jay-Z is the maturation. You know, so Jay-Z, you know, he's super grown in hip hop, approaching 50, and still very relevant. I think that hip hop has always been seen as a young man's game, but I think that invincibility has been taught in the African American culture, because it was a comfortable perception from slave owners, right? To say, well, if I beat you half to death, you're not really going to die, and if you do, you're not really worth it, right?
Right.
And so that had been kind of like passed down for us. I think that over time, and especially within hip hop as a survival technique, the idea of being invincible has been a bit of an issue. It's bravado, invincibility, sexuality, good times, talking about hard times, being invincible in those hard times. And so I think that hip hop has begun to show us that we're not that invincible, because we're losing MCs in their 40s, right? And so people are now, the people who came up with us, the people who were, when I was in elementary school and Tribe was out, and I was absolutely in love with Tribe, and now, you know, Fife, who's one of my first crushes, died, you know?
Right.
He's like me, and I was like, oh, in my elementary school, he's about the height of an elementary school student. I don't
know. I know. R.I.P. Fife.
Rest in
yeah.
And so you're seeing that someone like Jay-Z is saying that certain things in our life are not necessarily sustainable. I'm an elder statesman in hip hop, and I can still be dope. And it's important to see that in hip hop, that you know, in addition to the fact that we are struggling with the idea of having a short lifespan in hip hop, I think we're beginning to see that your musical career should not have a short lifespan. It should not correlate with the fact that so many of us are dying very early. So I have quite a few. Vince Staples? Tyler the Creator, absolutely insane. Like I think it's probably the album of the year. So I kind of actually got a mix, and those are my favorite people.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, ladies, we went over a little bit. I couldn't stop her because she was preaching. She was speaking my language, so I couldn't stop her. That's all right.
You need to tell that nurse who didn't know about the daggone protocol for the nitroglycerin drip for
She needs to go back and read her handbook. She shouldn't be paging you about some drama.
Listen, as a physician, for those of you who are going into medicine, this is backroom talk. I would never, you know, talk to my colleagues like that. I'm just venting, so I'm a nice person.
You gotta vent. You gotta let it out so that you don't talk to her like that. So
self-care. I need therapy. So.
There you go, self-care. All right, ladies, thank y'all so much for joining me. Doc Bintu, it was a pleasure. Next time I'm in Atlanta, I want to visit you and hang out with you. And if you need somebody for your panel, hello. Put myself out there. I try. I have 2 sets of families in Atlanta, so I will come down anytime you need me. So just let me know.
Do a seat at the table, women's health panel twice a year. We got a State of Black Health coming up, so I'll holler at you. Yeah.
You see how I did that? You see, y'all just invited myself. Put yourself out there. All right. So thank y'all so much. So your homework for next week. I want you to think. This is the last quarter of the year. The holidays are coming up. The new year is coming. 3 goals. We're going to go ahead and get our new year started now. We're not going to wait for January the 1st, 18 and start making some crazy resolutions that we never follow through with. We're going to set some real goals. I want you to put down 3 And I want these to be more career and business oriented. I know we're here for self-care and for Superwoman complex balance and all that stuff. But a lot of this, because we are Superwomen, we are admitting that we are Superwomen by being here, is how we think about our business and what our goals are for the next year. So I want you to come up with 3 career and business oriented goals for the new year. And we're going to come back and talk about those next Saturday. All right.
All right.
All right. Last thing, winner of last week's gifts. Drum roll. Doc, we had Kalila Wright on last Saturday, owner and CEO of Mess in a Bottle. And I love to rock her shirts and her jackets and all that. She's giving away this mean mugging, like Girl with a Grill army jacket to one of our listeners from last week. If you put your post, you took something from the talk, put it on the graphic, hashtag and all that, she's actually going to gift a jacket and a t-shirt. The winner of the jacket is Janie. Yay!
Go, Janie!
Thank you!
And the winner of the t-shirt is Dr. Harris, Angela.
Yay!
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah. Doc Bintu, what you giving away?
So I have some tank tops. I have a couple of t-shirts and a mug.
Yes. How you want to do it? What you want to start? You want to do a contest? Make them hashtag something, post something. How do you want to do it?
Oh, okay. I get to choose right now. I would like them to hashtag heartbeats and hip hop, but also, how do I say? I want them to post when they first fell in love with hip hop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Y'all got it? Got the details? When do you want them to do it by? When's your expiration date?
When is the best? Should I say today by a certain time, or how did you do it before?
It's up to you. I think Kalila gave them a couple of days. I think she said by like midweek, but you get to choose whatever you want.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna change my challenge then.
Okay, do it.
I want you all to hashtag heartbeats and hip hop, and I also want you to post a person in hip hop who had a health condition. They could have passed from it. They could be surviving through it. It can be anywhere from mental health to physical health to addiction. But I want you to post that particular person in hip hop, and I want you to obviously note their name, note what they battled with, and then hashtag heartbeats and hip hop. You have 72 hours.
All right.
All right.
Y'all got it. And when y'all win some shirts, send me one. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining us. Please share with folks. Let them know how you enjoyed this session. Dr. Bintu, it was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Is it heartbeats? Is it heartbeats with an S or heartbeat?
Oh, it's heartbeats with an S and A-N-D hip hop. Yeah, heartbeats and hip hop. Yes, ma'am.
All right, ladies. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the week. Doc, if you want to join us next week too, if you're not busy, feel free. We'll send you the same link.
Saturday, but you know what? If lunch is this quiet.
I didn't say it. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Y'all have a blessed Saturday. I'll see y'all next week, okay?
Take care. Bye.
Bye.